Hey everybody, Pete Meyer, Motor Age Magazine here for another edition of Shop Talk Live. As you can see, special guest today, my good friend G. Truglia, president of TST and ATTS. Of course, I'm actually up here at the mail pack shop he calls home to ATTS training. We're in the training room. If you've ever been up here, you'll recognize the background. Quite struggle getting up here, but we made it.
A little bit of weather. A little bit of weather yesterday.
Kind of getting ready for tonight's webinar. If you haven't signed up yet for that, the link for registration is in the description here in the Facebook post. Hope you'll take advantage and join us tonight on measuring voltage when you shouldn't. Some practical voltage drop testing tips for you we've got planned, so it should be good. Make sure you sign up for that. And just got to say, if you do, one lucky guy tonight or gal
is going to win something.
You're going to win some good stuff from our friends over at AES Wave. Yeah, AES is providing us with their newest U-Test adapter lead kit, which is really phenomenal. It's really good. And a Fluke 88V multimeter and lead kit. So,
whoa.
I mean, that's
substantial.
Could I win? That's a great prize, man.
That's really good.
That's certainly worth the price of entry to the webcast. But before we go into that, I'm going to get sidetracked here. What I wanted to do today, since I had a chance to sit down with Jerry, is to find out first a little bit about the man. Now, I'm just going to kind of say here that I met G, 8 years ago, probably, something like that now.
Yeah, time is ticking by.
Yeah, I mean, as many of you already know the story, I came to Motor Age, very fortunate to join Motor Age as a job from being a tech for 30-odd years. And one of the things I wanted to do was try to make resources available to all of you guys and gals. I knew getting training where I was as a tech was hard. If you could get to it, it was a matter of could you afford to go take it. And there's just a lot of challenges back then to get the training that we needed. And I wanted to do something online in a webcast format, but I wanted to do it differently. I wanted to do it in a shop, make it as real as we could. And the only people I knew at the time that were doing anything like that was the folks over at TST, right? And
yeah, we've been doing it a while.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll start with the present day, okay? And like currently, what attracted me to you guys in the first place was you established 4 chapters, right?
Yes, 4 chapters.
Right here in the greater New York City area. So you have one in.
Well, we have one here in Mayapack, New York, which covers the New York area. In Massachusetts, Auburn, Massachusetts, that covers that area. Southbury, Connecticut. Now, some of these were moved at times from where they were. But we were always somewhere in that Southbury, Connecticut, Waterbury, near Hartford area as well. And then our other one in Totowa, New Jersey. Yeah. Now, we have done stuff out in Indiana, California, and in Las Vegas. So we did stuff in different areas multiple times.
Yeah, but your core is the membership you have here and had for years.
Yeah, for years. We go back to the old STS days, which is part of SAE, Service Technician Society. And we started the whole thing here and made it grow till we were getting over 100 people in here. Mm-hmm. And once we got that big, we kind of spread it out to New Jersey. And from there, we got requests from Massachusetts because I was teaching up that way, and it just kind of blew up and went very well. So this is our 16th year for a TST big event. And I believe with 5 years prior, so about 21 years in total, we've been providing training at a reasonable cost. We try to keep it like you said. The goal is some guys don't really make a lot in this industry, as we know. And you want to keep them updated so they don't evaporate, right? So we said, if we can make a reasonable cost, we're not trying to make money. And since STS, part of SAE, was a non-for-profit, we also formed as a non-for-profit. And it's not about making money. Myself, our vice president, Pierre, and Doreen, and Eric Dibner, we put in the bulk of what goes on with everything. Right. And none of us get paid, okay? So we try to give back to the industry. The industry's been good to me over the years, so I want to give young people, the opportunity to put a light bulb on in their head. And that's what a seminar does. Yeah. As you said, we're here in my training room, and This I use more for hands-on classes. You do some of the stuff here, and then we go out to the bays. But not everyone could afford that. That's very pricey. And even though mechanics are mostly more hand-oriented than anything else, we got to give them an opportunity to put a light bulb on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And seminars, I think, go quite well.
And I think that was the model that really attracted me to TST. You had that core group. You were doing it more for the benefit of your membership.
Yeah.
And it was a pool because it wasn't just the local guy coming out and doing the training. Because they were pulling together, you guys were able to bring in some top names.
Yeah, we've had every top instructor in the country. We'll give first crack there at our buddy from AES, who's given us stuff to give away tonight to raffle off. We've had George Menchu multiple times come out here. We've had Mark Warren from Whirlpack and other areas. We've had Don Schnell. We've had Eric Ziegler, John Thornton, Scott Manna, Bernie Thompson. I mean, you name the instructor. Anyone worth their salt, per se, they've been here teaching a class for us.
You should have like a board on the training wall, all the
photos,
right?
There's so many that we've had. People go, if it wasn't for your training, I would never even know this. I mean, we've helped people like Whirlpack fill up their first event. The Beamers convention, we've helped them. We've helped even people be aware of vision. And Sherry does a great job at vision. But we made people aware of that. Say, hey, you guys got to come out to vision for the training. Because, again, we like telling people, we're not afraid to mention CarQuest, Napa, World, other training. You know what? When people are aware of training, they become training junkies. And that's what TST tries to do, is turn that light on, give them that little bit of excitement. Hey, I learned something, and I want to know more about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what, really made me want to do it. I just said, I didn't have that opportunity coming into this business. Training was basically back then put on by a parts store, and it was a beer fest. You learned maybe about an hour of stuff, and the rest was a BS session. And I said, we got to kind of take that out and make it more professional and just put more good information in. And we just put great people up over the years, from Ralph Birnbaum, Sam Bell. I mean, just go down the list. There's not a guy I think we haven't had.
Right.
That is really, really good. And some people we gave their start, like Bernie Thompson, first taught for us. John Thompson, no relation to Bernie, first did his class for us. So we give a lot of people a big push to get out there. And there's many, many others that came by. Peter Orlando, a whole bunch of people that we gave them a national forum. Kenny Sanders, good people that got good information to share. And that's what it's all about. Sharing. Yeah. And yourself, we've had you out here. In fact, last year, I think, right? Was it? Yeah. The last of 2018, you were out here.
Yeah.
And again, it's just something where we can help each other. Too much in this business, when I first started, I worked at a Esso gas station when Esso was in the U.S. I know in Canada you still got Esso, but not here in the U.S. We got Exxon, right? And when I worked there, the other gas station across the street or at the other corner, they were the enemy. And that's how most repair shops or gas stations were. Everyone was the enemy. It's like, you don't have to be the enemy. We could all get along, make enough money, and really just help each other. With today's complexity of a vehicle, as you know better than anyone, you really need more opinions. This is why, Scott, I'm thinking of Scott Brown, who we also have had with Diag.net, Identifix, IATN. You need all the help you can get. And, that old saying, more is better than, one head, right? More heads. And just doing stuff. And even when someone is brand new in the business, and this is tough for young people. I mean, I just hired a new young guy in the shop, and there'll probably be something he knows that we don't know. And you may go, oh, get out of here. Yeah, everyone is unique at knowing something different. And if we share all those ideas, it's not only coming, and Pierre and I always say this, it's not only coming to our TST seminar or Napa or CarQuest or Whirlpack, whatever. Okay, it's really networking with people. That is the key. So when we get a lot of people that come out, whether it be the big event or just a regular seminar, they yak with each other. This guy's a Mercedes expert.
Right.
That guy is a Ford expert.
Right.
Everyone has some better experience. We got this guy, Leo, who works at a Subaru dealership. Real nice guy. He comes to quite a few of our events. He'll be at the big event. And, he's a wealth of information because all he does is Subaru. And you have everyone with different experience. So I like when you can really speak to different people, Even myself, you hear something from this one guy that, whoa, he's really into that. He knows that well.
Yeah.
And it could be a program, like Scott Brown. I always learn something new that I don't know with all these gadgets that are out there. My brain is full of other automotive stuff, but he's like, hey, you should be doing this. And it really works out well.
Yeah.
And it's just getting people, even Wayne Colonna, who, with ATSG, people, when I first brought him out, they're like, oh, well, I don't know, we just want to know transmission. But we did a thing with Motor Age, in fact, drivability, transability, and drivability.
Right.
And it really does go hand in hand, okay, where you open up people's minds to different things. And, wow, we can really excel and move to the next level.
Yeah, I think you included several good points in what you just said. And one of the things I wanted to recap for those who are watching, the events that they do, I used to call it a circuit ride because we would go from one chapter to the next over those 4 nights.
It's a week of hell for me,
right?
But yes.
Yeah, and then the last one would be simulcast for those who couldn't attend. Originally, you recorded it.
Yes.
Right, back before you could do the webinar stuff, the internet stuff, because you would deliver it in DVD to those who couldn't make it.
Correct.
Right? So
Correct.
Because the weather up here, especially this time of year, you don't know what's going to happen during the course of the week, as we found out last night.
I remember, when you bring that up, we had Scott Brown out at one time. This is way back. And the weather was horrendous. And we got to pay the instructor. He flies out from California to boot.
Yeah.
And we had in Connecticut 3 people, Pierre, myself, and one other guy, who was Eric, who was not a TST board member at the time.
Yeah.
It was just 3 of us. We sat down at a table and he did his little class to us. We didn't need the projector or all that, but we come out rain, snow, or shine.
Right.
And I got to say, these instructors have been great. I remember last year when Eric Ziegler was out, I think I was just telling you yesterday when you were going to fly out of O'Hare, I said, Eric got delayed coming out, he got stuck. And going back, rather than leaving Friday morning, he didn't get out of here until Sunday because the weather was horrendous.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't always happen like that, but these are dedicated people that come out, and we appreciate all the instructors, including yourself, that come out to address our group. We don't pay the greatest, we pay a fair amount, but again, you're really helping the industry. And we try to provide, we provide full color printouts, a newsletter in full color, and they do get pizza, but hey, it's better than nothing, soda, coffee and stuff. And they get a really good 3.5 hour seminar, which to me is really worth it.
Right, absolutely. So that's one of the reasons that we partnered with G and TST, right? So that we could do just like we're doing tonight, the webcast series. I approached G and asked some questions and see what the interest would be. And of course, history tells the tale. It's 8 years now that we've been doing these webcasts.
It's been great.
We've got some really good ones planned for 2019. But one of the things I'm also excited about making sure you know about is that the simulcasts that TST is doing when they have that circuit rider in town. Last month it was Brandon Steckler.
Yeah.
Right.
Brandon was our last speaker.
And we are now working with TST to make those simulcasts available to you as well. So you can either go to the TST website and see what's coming up next, sign up there if you want, or of course you can look for it on the Motor Age site. I'm sure many of you have gotten the newsletters in the mail, the emails, letting you know about that opportunity. I hope you'll take advantage of that because, again, just like with Brandon's class, that was the full 3-hour presentation as if you went to go see him at Apex or Vision or Auto Mechanica or wherever it might have, you might have wanted to see him at. And if you can't make that kind of a trip, you can still benefit from not just Brandon's, but again, these top instructors that G and TST bring into their membership. You can take advantage of that. And if you really want to take advantage of it, then you got to make plans to attend their next big event. So, G, tell us about that.
Oh, the great TST big event. I got a big smile on my face. the TST big event is really a great thing. You know, as Mark Warren says, he loves the name. We didn't know what the hell to call it in the beginning. We just thought the first time out of the box we had about 300 plus people when we first did it, and I said, we should just call it the big event. And we kind of stayed with that name. I'm not the biggest guy on making good names up, but what the hell, it worked. At any rate, the big event is something special because not only do we try to put it like everyone in one room. And Jim Lender, you know, who used to have Lender's Tech, we used to go out to Indiana years back, and he would have, not as big as ours, but he would have something similar. And I liked what he did. Everyone in one room. And, you know, some people say, it's not going to work, but it does work. And here's why. Last year with 606 technicians, besides about 30 vendors, we really had everyone get the same experience. Now, what do I mean by that? When you go to other training events, you may be in one room here, one room there. Well, you and I are going to have a different experience. When we're in one room, we got the same damn experience. And I think that is really good because people can relate more to each other. People tend to speak to each other. People make friends with each other. I mean, we've had people that have come to TST that, you know, the big event, and they become friends with other people from different places. Mm-hmm. We got a guy from Brazil this year coming in. We got a guy from United Kingdom, people coming in. We got Canada. We got Barbados, St. Lucia. So, you know, besides everywhere in the United States.
Wow.
And these people really network with each other because everyone has a different need or a different want. And the vendors are great. And I think when everyone is there, just experiencing, sharing ideas, it's just great. And last year when we did the first electronic, no paper handout, okay, you know, that was amazing. 606 tablets, people holding them up, and that was really something. In this war room, as we're going to make this in about a week or so, we have about 700 something tablets to charge up and load, but it's less scary than last year. I'll be honest with you, because I think last year I had the unknown is crazy. No one had done that. So since no one had a training event, and there's, again, great events that are held everywhere. Yeah. You know, Napa had never done it. Napa does do it now for the diesel days. Tom Rake, who we had as our guest speaker as well, he thought that was a great idea. Because think what paper cost. Mm. I think it was TST, not last year, it was 17. We were over $25,000 on printing. That's a lot of money. Yeah, and a hell of a lot of paper. So I said, if we can get our sponsors, our generous sponsors that really help us to kick in a little more, we can give a guy a tablet. And people are amazed. We get calls. I just had about 3 of them today. So when do I bring you my old tablet? I go, you don't. You get a new one. We have nothing to do with your old tablet. We're going to give you a whole new one. You know, and that hot breakfast, hot lunch. It's really a great event. And I'm excited this year, too. We're doing our guest speaker is a little bit different. And you've been our guest speaker multiple times over the years. Our keynote this year is Vin Waterhouse. And Vin Waterhouse not only does, you know, a lot of you guys out there think, oh, it's only going to be management. No. Vin Waterhouse also makes the technicians aware of certain things. You know, as a technician, and I know both sides of the fence, working as a tech, you know, and as a business owner, you always think the owner is making a hell of a lot of money. You only see what's coming in. You never see what's going out. Mm-hmm. And you don't even realize the time you waste. It may be in a tool truck or whatever that you're just dilly-dallying. Time is money. It's the only thing a shop has to sell is their time. And I think Vin, he's one of my favorite management instructors. I mean, there's great people out there. But Vin has always been realistic. He's a CPA and stuff. And I think he's always been on the mark. And I always believe in going to management classes. You know, there's too many other guys, countless to name, that do a great management class, write for the magazine. They're all good. And I believe in all of them. But, you know, Vin, if you've never seen him, this guy he's like John Anello on steroids, jumping up and down. He is really amazing. There's another guy we had, my buddy John Anello, who this year will again be one of our mini speakers. We're in between our 2 big speakers. Yeah, and who are the headliners? The headliners this year, Chris Lewis, who I'm proud to say got him to teach his first class. Chris used to subcontract for me. In fact, when we I went to go teach the Marines in Okinawa, Japan. I took Chris with me. I had to get him through a whole background check and stuff. And Chris will be doing stuff on GDI, works for ATG. Great guy, good personality, real, because he still does stuff in people's shops. And that's what it really takes to put together a good program, write a good article, or do something. If you don't do it, it becomes difficult. You got to keep your hands on it.
Yeah.
Then we got John Anello. Now, John Anello just did a switch like he always does to me. It was going to be on ADA system, but next year he's doing a full-blown ADA thing. So he has some other crazy, great case studies and some good information that he just switched on me. But it'll be great. If anyone who knows John or has seen John, he is a dynamic person, to say the least.
Yeah, he's going to be hosting a webinar with us as well.
Yeah. So John is, that's right, that's coming up in the summer, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Then we have John Thornton. And John we've had out many times over the years. An excellent instructor, really a detail-oriented individual. The nicest guy you want to meet, by the way. And a few people out there, if you've come across John and he seems quiet or whatever, and you think he's, being aloof to you or whatever, he's not. He's just a quiet, nice individual who's very knowledgeable, who really gets deep into his subject matter.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I actually sat in his class when I was teaching for...
It was WorldPac, SX.
No, that wasn't WorldPac. That was Autologic.
Oh, yeah.
Autologic down in Florida. And I said, I've seen John's pressure transducer class, but I know he's updated it, and it's mechanical pressure transducer diagnosis. And this is such a big thing nowadays.
Yeah.
And John loves doing this. He's another guy. I don't think he's in it just for the money. John likes going out there and putting stuff together. And it's going to be a real treat for people to see this.
Oh, I'm sure.
A real treat, because I really enjoyed that. I like how he got in and showed you, like we were talking about your Hemi, that hopefully you don't have the problem these other Hemis that we've been out to have, or Audis. You cannot find a mechanical problem nowadays without electronic data.
Yeah.
Or diagnostic equipment, let me say. And that's all thanks to Bernie Thompson.
Yeah.
Bernie with his pressure transducer kit, automotive test solution, him and Neil Peterson, his partner. These guys think out of the freaking box and come up with great stuff. And John is going to deliver great stuff, not just on Pico. He does throw some Bernie stuff in there and other. He really has some great information that I think could be quite helpful to people in our industry.
Yeah, and the dates?
The date is Saturday, March the 30th in Terrytown, New York. We start at 7 in the morning, where we give you a hot breakfast. Everything goes off at like 8 o'clock on the nose. We usually don't get out of there at 6 o'clock. There should be a lot of companies, and any of you companies watching, if you want to donate stuff, we are a 501c3. To raffle off, we do give you a big mention, pictures, the whole bit. We have some stuff in already from nice companies that are always donated. Last year, Autologic gave away a $24,999 tool, and some guy from Pennsylvania won that one.
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff, we gave away about $50,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys too, if you're going to plan to come to us, the big event, just like with our webinar tonight, the link that you can go to get information and sign up for that. You've got slots still open, right?
We have slots still open. We added more table seats. We listened to people. We took the vendors out of the room. We moved them to where everyone could still see them. But basically, we have more table seats in that room, and more people can actually fit in there.
Yeah, but don't wait to the last minute.
No,
if you're in this area, by all means, you want to make that day. It's a day's training, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be an intensive day's training. So you're going to get an early start, and you're going to push the brain cells to the max. Keep up, right?
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
It's like when I do my hybrid class. I tell people, if you're coming out, we do 2 long days in a row. We start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we don't end to 9:30 or so at night. We do that on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday we're out here at 4 o'clock. Okay? And I tell people, look, you're not coming out just for the hell of it. You're coming out to learn stuff.
Right.
Let's squeeze in as much as we can.
Right.
And this is what we do at the big event.
Yeah.
We try to squeeze in as much information as possible.
Yeah.
And that is the key for people to put a light on. And then here's what a special we have this year. If you sign up this year, if you're a TST member, A membership is very cheap. You can view that the whole 8.5+ hours for $40.
Wow.
Now that is only if they're a TST member.
Yeah. Wow.
If not, it'll cost them over $100 to view it. I think $125 to view it after the fact. And that'll also be available on MotorH, our partnership with MotorH.
Yeah, I mean, and even at that, that's a steal, guys. If you can watch a full session with John Thornton, a full session with Chris Lewis, learn from John Anello, and hear a great keynote speaker, all for that price, that's a hard deal to beat.
And last year we had Jim Moritz out, who's coming out this year, but not to teach. But Jim did a real nice job, and you guys may know him from Snap-on. Jim's been around a long time, a friend of mine. He did a really good job and kind of eased us in to networking, right? And then we had Ed, who gave us a case study, like he had the John Anello middle spot. We always do like half hour-ish or so, 45 minutes. And the big speaker at that day was Bernie Thompson. I forgot his name. Bernie Mast. I'm glad he's a friend. Bernie really did stuff with networking. And I got to say, it was probably the first time where we got so many calls where people said, hey, thanks to the way you kind of set it up, I kind of understood what Jim Moritz was saying. He got us into it. Mm-hmm. And then Bernie always goes like Superman.
Oh, yeah.
But he did ease off a bit and then get into it and provided great case studies, including one that, as his company is a sponsor, we put a 10-minute video on that tablet that they were able to go back and review and say, oh, this is how to do that networking thing.
One of the advantages of that means of giving out information. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was really good. He did a great job, and people came back and viewed it. Now, we could always see from our website how many people view it, and people go back and watch that Bernie one over and over. And some instructors that were there, I won't mention their names, they went back and viewed it over and over, because sometimes when we're not used to something, we need to hear it and see it and write it or use it 6 times or so.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is another advantage they get.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's all about helping people. And, we do thank all our speakers because they're not afraid to be on video. We're not just selling this to anyone. We're helping the industry, and they're doing their part in helping the industry to TST.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all that. And MotorH has always been good to us as well. MotorH will have a table there, a little booth. So there'll be James, I believe, will be coming out, and Mike, and yourself, obviously. And we'll have press, other magazines as well will be there.
Well, I mean, look what it's grown to in just the last few years. It's really taken off. I'm very happy for you guys that it's going where it's gotten.
Thank you.
Well, guys, I hope you got know a little bit more about G than you did before you came here. Again, look in the video description here for links to tonight's webcast and, of course, to the big event. Take advantage of both of those training opportunities. And we'll see you next time here on Shop Talk Live. So let's go ahead and play our little fancy little outro. See you next time.
You got it.
Thumbs up. Right now,